present a topic joint with my partner Upahar, Suman and me. What is joint stock company? A joint stock company is an organization which is owned to jointly by all its shareholders. Here all the stakeholders have a specific portion to stock owned, usually displayed as a share. Each joint stock company share is transferable, and if the company is public, then its shares are marketed on registered stock exchanges. Private joint stock company shares can be transferred from one party to another party. However, the transfer is limited by agreement and family members. The next topic is features of joint stock company. Separate legal entity, perpetual succession, limited liability, transferability of shares, common seal, artificial legal person, separation of ownership and control, voluntary association, corporate finance, statutory regulation and control. Separate legal entity. A joint stock company is an individual legal entity apart from the persons involved. It can own assets and can, because it is an entity, it can sue or can be sued, whereas a partnership or a sole proprietor, it has no such legal existence apart from the person involved in it. So the members of the joint stock company are not liable to the company and are not dependent on each other for business activities. Perpetual succession. The joint stock company is born out of the law, so the only way for the company to end is by the functioning of the company is in no way related to the life of its members. Members or shareholders of a company keep changing, but this does not affect the company's life. Limited liability. This is one of the major points of difference between company and a sole proprietorship and partnership. The liability of the shareholders of a company is limited. The personal assets of a member cannot be liquidated to repay the debts of a company. Transferability of shares. In a joint stock company, the ownership is divided into transferable units known as shares. In case of a public company, the shares can be transferred freely. There are almost no restrictions, and in a public company, there are some restrictions, but the transfer cannot be prohibited. Common seal. A company is an artificial person, so its day-to-day functions are conducted by the board of directors. So when a company enters any contracts or signs an agreement, the approval is indicated via a common seal. A common seal is engraved seal with the company's name on it. So no document is legally binding on the company until and unless it has a common seal along with the signatures of the directors. Artificial legal person. A company is a legal entity that has been created by the statutes of law. Like a natural person, it can do certain things like own property in its name, enter into a contract, borrow a legal, lend money, sue or be sued, etc. It has also been granted certain rights by the law, which it enjoys through its board of directors. However, not all rights duties apply to a company. It exists only in the law and not in any physical form. So we call it an artificial legal person. Separation of ownership and control. Separation between ownership and management. The shareholder with the company is a large and they are spread all over the country. Therefore, they cannot take part in the day-to-day routine business of the company. Therefore, the management of the company is done professionally by experts who are the representatives of the shareholders, are called the board of directors. Let's move to the Upahar Suman.
Good evening, ma'am. Volunteer association. It is found by a member of volunteer joining the organization and contributing money or money worth for business. A company can neither compel a person to become the member or not to give up their membership. It is a personal choice of a person, be their desire to earn profit or some other factors which inspire them to become membership of a company. Please move to the next slide. Move to the next slide. Corporate finance. The shares of the capital shares of capital of a company is generally divided into large number of shares of the small value. The shares are purchased by a large number of people from the different walks of the life. Statutory regulation and control. The operation of a company form of business are strictly governed by the provisions of Company Act 1956 and other laws being brought into force for time to time. Non-compliance with the provisions of the law attach heavily penalty. Even cost of the company is as per the winding up provisions of the Company Act. Here are some of the examples of joint stock company. Indian Oil Private Limited Company, Tata Motors Limited Company, and the Reliance Industries Limited Company. Here are the differences of private and public company on the basis of members. In private company, 6 Company Act and recently amendment 2013 maximum 200. In public company, there are minimum 2 and maximum no limits. Transfer of shares. On the basis of transfer, they are not transferable. In public company, the shares are easily transferable. Quorum. The quorum is quorum for meeting of a private company is 0. In public company, 5 members conducted in the quorum. On the basis of issue of prospectus. In private company cannot issue a prospectus for purchases of the shares. A public company must issue a prospectus or a statement in lieu of a prospectus for the purchase of on the basis of index of number. In private company, no needs to maintain an index of member but in public company, maintaining index for a member is must. Types of meeting. Types of first statutory meeting, meeting of director, and third is other meeting. In a statutory meeting, it gives study report to the ROC of and also published in within 1 to 6 months. Minimum 2 directors present in a meeting. Annual general meeting AGM annual and general body meeting.
कंपनी के लिए कंपलसरी नहीं होता, पब्लिक कंपनी के लिए कंपलसरी होता है.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
चेक कर लीजिएगा इसको.
Yes, ma'am. And particular shareholder meeting. Meeting of director. In meeting of director, meeting vote of director, no permission is for proxy. Meeting of committee director for a particular process, governance expenses. Other meeting. Other meeting of a debenture holder gives money knowledge about compulsory company what is going, meeting of conduction, loans particularly group of meeting. Thank you, ma'am.
What about types of company?
What, ma'am?
टाइप्स ऑफ कंपनी वगैरह कवर नहीं किए?
Types of company.
Mansi, you are raising your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Next presentation is
Next presentation will be yours. Tomorrow you be prepared. अगर नीतीश सर क्लास छोड़ देते हैं पहले तो हम लोग कर लेंगे, ठीक है, नहीं तो फिर तो परसों ही हो पाएगा, ठीक है। और 2 ग्रुप चाहिए, एक तो मानसी और
मैम एक हम लोग का
रोल 27।
मैम हम लोग ऑफलाइन नहीं कर सकते।
ऑफलाइन वही तो मैं बोल रही हूँ, अभी उधर सिलेबस खत्म नहीं हुआ है ना आप लोगों का, नीतीश सर का। आप ही लोग ना बता रहे थे क्लास लेंगे सर, सिलेबस तो खत्म होना ज्यादा जरूरी है ना। तो हम लोग का डेली है तो अल्टरनेट, सिलेबस खत्म हो गया तो अल्टरनेट कर सकते हैं। और अगर नीतीश सर क्लास छोड़ देते हैं पहले तो हम लोग ले लेंगे, आधा घंटा भी बचा हुआ रहेगा तो हम लोग ले लेंगे, ठीक है। आधा घंटा में प्रेजेंटेशन दे देंगे आप लोग। 2 ग्रुप रेडी रहिए।
मैम हमारा भी होगा उसमें, सन्नी एंड सिद्धांत में।
ठीक है, सब रेडी रहिए, जितना जल्दी जल्दी प्रेजेंटेशन हो वेरी गुड। मैं खुद भी चाह रही हूँ जल्दी प्रेजेंटेशन खत्म हो। अभी किसको देना है? और ये बहुत सारा इसमें मिसिंग था। एक तो आपका ये मिसिंग था, टाइप्स ऑफ कंपनी, फिर कॉर्पोरेट पर्सनालिटी डिस्कशन नहीं किए हुए हैं, फिर आपका स्टेजेस ऑफ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कंपनी था, ये सब आप इंक्लूड नहीं किए हैं। पर
Yes, ma'am.
बताया गया था ना क्लास में,
Yes, ma'am.
टाइप्स ऑफ कंपनी में बताया गया था, स्टेजेस ऑफ फॉर्मेशन, चलो ठीक है, स्टेजेस ऑफ फॉर्मेशन अकॉर्डिंग टू योर सिलेबस बस पता होना चाहिए कि हाँ 4 स्टेजेस है, लेकिन टाइप्स ऑफ कंपनी तो डिस्कशन करना चाहिए था। खैर जितना प्रेजेंटेशन हुआ इट वाज गुड। व्हाट इज वॉलंटरी एसोसिएशन ओफार?
Voluntary.
Swankit?
Yes, ma'am.
What is voluntary association?
It is a form of members who joining the organization and contributing money for the business. It can neither compel a person to become its member nor to give up
Okay.
their
On
membership.
their own will they can join the group. And what is statutory regulation and control? Question is for both of you, Upar and Swankit. Any one of you can answer.
The operations of a company from the business are strictly governed by the provisions of Company Act 1956.
What have you understood from perpetual succession? Please don't read out the slide. I just want to know your concept. What have you understood from perpetual succession? Again, for both of you.
When joint stock company born out करते law से only two way तो functioning law से functioning करने के लिए and is by the functioning of law.
Opal,
Yes, ma'am.
answer.
मैम इसमें लॉ से मींस वर्न आउट करने के लिए कंपेल करता है और लॉ के अकॉर्डिंग फंक्शन करने के लिए इसमें बोलता है।
ठीक है, किसी की भी मेंबर पर इसका लाइफ डिपेंड नहीं होता है, लॉ ही इसके एग्जिस्टेंस को खत्म कर सकता है। ठीक है, so please focus on concept building rather than just for the sake of presentation. Don't give presentation. मकसद मेरा presentation देने का ये है कि आप लोगों का concept develop. ठीक है, next किसका है? अभी कौन देंगे?
Yes, ma'am.
Share the screen. Topic क्या है आपका?
Environment Protection Act.
Okay, एक second. You can start.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I'm Susmita, and today I'm here with my team members, Yamini and Mansi, to present the presentation on the topic Environment Protection Act 1986. So the contents are background, objective of act, definition of important terms, environment, environment pollution, hazardous substance, and occupier, types of pollution, powers of central government to protect environment. So first of all, let's see the background. During the past decades, the economic and industrial growth of the country has been extremely high. As we know, industrialization has started, and since from when 5-year plan came into existence, we have been more focused about industrialization and agriculture. This is affecting environment. Although we are happy that industry are growing and we have so many factories and we don't have from other countries, but still we are neglecting the fact that it is also affecting our environment badly. Increasing serious environment degradation events during the last century have paved way effective steps in environment protection. We as human beings, we are responsible to take care of environment and we can use them, but we don't have right to destroy our environment. Example that recently we had to go through the lockdown phase. During that time, our surrounding was so clean and the sky was so clear and the environment was less polluted. In the wake of Bhopal gas tragedy of 1984, the government of India enacted the Environment Protection Act 1986 under Article 253 of the Constitution. As we all know what the Bhopal gas tragedy, it occurred because of the gas leakage in Bhopal. It was India's major industrial disaster and also a world's worst industrial disaster. After that only the Indian government made this Environment Protection Act. During the Bhopal gas tragedy, it killed more than 1,500 people and it affected over 6 lakh workers. This act came into act when Rajiv of our country. Now I would like to call Yamini for further explanation. Thank you.
Thank you, Susmita. Objective of acts. First, to coordinate the activity of various regulation agencies, to handle hazardous substances, speedily response in the event of accident which threatens environments, to punish those who injures human environment safety and human state, to create authorities with adequate power of environmental pollution. Please change the slides. Definition. Environment. According to section 2A, environment includes water, air, and an interrelationship which exists between water, air, and lands. Second, environmental pollutant. According to section 2B, it means any solid, liquid, and gaseous substance present in connection which tends to be inserts to environments. Environment pollution. According to section C, it means the presence of environmental pollutant in the environment. Please change the slides. Hazardous substance. According to section 2E, any substance which by the reason of its chemical properties causes harms to human beings, other living creatures, plants, organisms, or the environment. Fifth, occupier. According to section 2F, in relation to any factory or premises means a person who has control over the affairs of the factory and includes relation to any substance. The person is poisonous of the substance. Now I call the Mansi to explain the topic.
द मानसी नहीं होगा, यामिनी.
Thank you, Yamini. No. So sorry. Good evening to all of you. I don't want to protect the environment. I want to create a world where the environment doesn't need to protect. So, as I told the lines regarding environment protection, so while thinking about our environment, the first thing that came in our mind is pollution. So let's talk about this. Pollution. Pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. These harmful materials are called pollutants. Pollutants can be natural, such as mechanicals. They can also be created by human activities such as stress or runoff produced by factories. Pollutants damage the quality of our air, water, and land. So, but despite of this, we are not aware to protect our environment. So, due to this, central government decided to take some initiatives to protect our environment. Let's move toward this. Powers of central government to protect and improve environment. The central government has the powers to take all preventive measures to control the environment pollution. Coordination of actions by state government officers and other authorities. Planning and execution of a nationwide program for prevention and control of pollution. Like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan started by BCA government and their popular slogan, as we all know, Ek Kadam Swachhta Ki Or. Laying down the standards for quality of environment and laying down standards for emission or discharge of environment pollutants. Restriction of areas in which industries shall not be carried out unwanted productions of goods. Like we have seen plastic ban in India. Laying down procedures and safeguards for prevention of accidents which cause environment pollution. Like we have seen auditing system for vehicles in Delhi. Laying down procedures for handling hazardous and substances. Examination of manufacturing process, material and substances which cause environment pollution. Carrying out research related to problems of environment pollution through our surveys. Inspection of any premises, machineries, and take necessary steps to prevent and control of environment pollution. Collection of information and matters relating to environmental pollution through surveys, through statewide survey. Preparation of manual guides relating to prevention and control of environment pollutions. So, at last, I want to add it. Cleaning up the country can't be the sole responsibility of sleeper. So citizens have no role in this. We have to change this mindset because in India, develop India. Thank you.
Okay, 3 of you are in this group.
Yes, ma'am.
What is STI policy? Tell me the full form of STI.
Ma'am,
STI policy. Haven't heard this term? मतलब सिर्फ यही चैप्टर पढ़े, बाकी चैप्टर नहीं पढ़े हैं।
मैम इस चैप्टर का क्लास नहीं किए थे तो
कौन सा चैप्टर है बताइए? STI पॉलिसी कौन से चैप्टर में पढ़े हैं?
मैम ये जो एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन वाला चैप्टर है उसका क्लास
नहीं STI पॉलिसी है कौन से चैप्टर का? शायद मनीषा भूल गए थे, आपकी स्क्रीन आपका शेयर था। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी एंड इनोवेशन 2013, टेक्नोलॉजिकल एनवायरनमेंट का ये चैप्टर है। क्या रेनी आओ? और तो प्रेजेंटेशन आज 15 मिनट्स में हो पाएगा? और किसी का 15 मिनट का टॉपिक किसी का है? No one. Yes, रेवती।
ऐसे में हम लोग का पॉलिटिकल इंस्टीट्यूशन बचा हुआ था जो कि छोटा चैप्टर ही है, तो दे देते हैं।
तो वही तो मैं पूछ रही हूँ, पॉलिटिकल तो आराम से हो जाएगा 10 मिनट, दे दीजिए 1 मिनट। Today is 28. Roll 1.
Yes, ma'am.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, ma'am.
6, 7, 8.
Yes, ma'am. 7.
9.
Yes, ma'am. 9.
11. 12.
Yes, ma'am. 12.
13.
Yes, ma'am. 11.
Ma'am, 12.
13. 14. 15. 16.
Yes, ma'am. Round 15.
Yes, ma'am. 16.
17.
Yes, ma'am.
18.
Present, ma'am.
19.
Yes, ma'am. 19.
20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26.
Yes, ma'am. 25.
Ma'am.
कौन?
Ma'am, 25.
25 हो गए। एक और आवाज?
Ma'am, 26.
तो बाहर कौन है भाई? 27.
Yes, ma'am.
28.
Yes, ma'am.
29.
Yes, ma'am.
30,
Yes, ma'am.
31. 32. 33.
Present, ma'am.
34. 35. 36. 36. 37. 38.
Yes, ma'am.
कौन?
37.
Okay. 38, 39,
Yes,
40,
ma'am. 39.
40, 41, 42, 43,
Yes,
44,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 44. 44 भी ma'am.
45, 46, 47, 48,
Present, ma'am.
49, 50,
Yes, ma'am.
51, 52, 53, 54, 55,
Present, ma'am.
56,
Yes, ma'am.
57, 58, 59,
Yes, ma'am.
60, 61, 62. Okay. Yes, you can start, Revati.
मैम 40 प्रेजेंट है।
मैम हमारे प्रेजेंटेशन का आप रिव्यू नहीं दें।
क्या चीज? What, Manisha? Review, it was good. तीनों में ज्यादा अच्छा आप ही का था. Okay, you can share the screen now.
जैद शेयर करना है स्क्रीन।
हाँ, एक सेकंड।
जब तक शेयर कर रहा है, ये बताइए संजना, आपके साथ कौन दिया था प्रेजेंटेशन?
प्रीति मैम।
रोल नंबर?
40।
All right. Start.
Good evening, ma'am, and all. My topic is political institution. Please make next slide. Content definition, formal of political institution, function, related article. Next, please. Political institution. Political institutions are the organization in a government that create, enforce, and apply law. They often mediate conflict, make governmental policy on economy and the social system, and otherwise provide representation for population. This next. Classification of the constitution. Legislative, president, parliament. In parliament there is two sections, Raj Sabha and Lok Sabha. In executive, prime minister and the council of minister. For judicial, supreme court, high court, in the state, district court. Form of political institution, legislature. It forms law and a procedure along with examining the administration and its resolution. The chief function of legislature is to enact law. It is the basis for the functioning of the other two organs, the executive and the judiciary. It is also sometimes accorded the first place among the three organs, because until and unless law are enacted, there can be no implementation and application of laws. Legislature of union, which is called parliament, consists of president and two house, known as council of state, Raj Sabha, and a house of people, Lok Sabha. Each house has to meet within 6 months of its previous sitting. A joint sitting of two houses can be held in a certain case. Yeah, Jed, over to you.
Thanks, Revati. Executive. The executive, short for executive branch or executive power, is the part of government that enforces law and has responsibility for the governments of the state. Please change the slide. Judiciary, branch of government whose task is authoritative adjudication of controversies over the application of laws in specific situations. Conflicts brought before the judiciary and embodied in cases involving litigants
who may be individual, groups, legal entities, example corporations or governments and their agencies. See also constitutional law, court and procedural law. Some article related to political institution. According to Article 136 of the Constitution, the Supreme Court may in discretion make a special order to appeal against any judgment, decree, determination, sentence or order passed or made in any suit or manner by any court or tribunal in the territory of India. Manish.
Thanks, Jad, to passing me. Article 141. Article 141 of the Constitution of India stipulates that the law declared by the Supreme Court shall be binding on all courts within the territory of India. Thus, the general principle laid down by the Supreme Court are binding on each individual, including those who are not a party to an order. Change slide, please. Thank you. That's all.
Can you explain Article 137? Able to hear me? एक लाइन से कैमरा क्यों ऑफ कर दिया सब लोग? अभी जो लास्ट में दिए वो रोल नंबर 27 है.
Yes, ma'am.
जायद आप तो पास किए ही नहीं, मतलब खुद ही समझ जाओ मेरा खत्म हो गया, तुम शुरू करो, है ना? हम्म 137 आर्टिकल. एग्जीक्यूटिव में क्या आता है जायद?
Ma'am, who execute the law on the people.
कौन होते हैं वो?
Government.
Which government?
Executive government.
Prime Minister, President. कौन?
Ma'am, yeah, Prime Minister and their council of members.
Good. All right, thank you all. See you next class. ठीक है, कल प्रिपेयर होकर के रहिए जो लोग बचे हुए हैं. अब कौन बचे हैं वैसे? सुस्मिता का हो ही गया, इन लोग का हो भी गया. कल कौन देंगे? फिर से वही स्टोरी, कल कौन देंगे?
सनी बोला था मैम.
सन्नी एंड सिद्धांत.
सन्नी. ऑल राइट, ठीक है, थैंक यू.
Thank you, ma'am.